Alright everyone, welcome back. Hopefully not too much of a delay there on the stream. But we are into game. I do apologize for the slight technical difficulties. But we are into the game, on to Summoner's Rift, and first item purchases being purchased. Actually, all item purchases have already been purchased. We have the Machete start on Jarvan, Machete start on Nocturne, so not going for any of the Durin's Blade starts that you sometimes see. Vladimir starting out with at least one ward. Starting out with one ward and 5 potions there, so they're going to be able to sustain quite a bit. I'm curious to see if we will see lane swaps after that start out of Vladimir. Ward was dropped over at the red buff, so that will spot everyone out. Nami's sitting on 1 pink ward, a ton of potions there actually for Nami, so they definitely want the 2v2 lane. And those potions are there to be able to sustain through Corki's early poke until he runs out of mana, and then Corki will run out of mana. But anyway, here's the engage. Bubble onto 4 people, Orb of Deception through absolutely everyone. Zac coming in with the slingshot. Corki with a little bit of damage, having to flash out. There's a Death Sentence onto Mr. Friend. He has his passive available. Flash out, Orb of Deception across, and literally every single flash except for Gragas's just had to be burned there. That was an amazing bubble from Nami into absolutely everyone's damage. Caitlyn did flash there, but you see all of those blinking health bars. Fortunately, no one died on the side of nothing to prove, but only Gragas has his flash. And that means that Jarvan can just gank wherever he wants, because no one's going to be able to flash out of his EQ knockup. So that was pretty huge. Ice Murphy did try to get the Death Sentence off, but that bubble was absolutely insane out of Arthief. It caught 4 people in it. The Orb of Deception went across literally everyone. And Ignites were burned, but forcing all of those flashes at level 1 was absolutely huge. So if Jarvan doesn't capitalize on that in the next couple minutes, then it won't matter so much. But Jarvan should be able to get some fantastic early ganks off as a result of the summoners being out. Nocturne going to start at his blue there and have Thresh come back into lane a little bit late, but won't be too far behind in EXP. Nami with good wards early on to just try and get as much vision as possible, make sure that Nocturne's not doing a level 2 gank cheese or anything. And Nocturne going to go over to his red. Neither jungler, of course, use that smite, so we'll be able to smite the buff away. And Jarvan actually going for a little bit of main. No, he's going to go gank onto Gragas, so he's actually ganking the one person who didn't flash. There's the EQ knockup. Well, you have to flash. The flash actually from Ahri and the flash out from Gragas. Alright, so now everyone on the side of Nothing to Prove has no flash. So now Jarvan can gank wherever he wanted, just getting that flash off of Gragas. And we'll be able to focus onto other lanes or continue focusing onto mid lane. A lot of damage there onto Drill in the top lane. Zac's early game pretty strong here. Is level 2 to Drill's level 3, so we'll have to wait for this EXP to fall to the tower and hit level 2, or hit level 3. And actually already used his only potion, so he's starting to have a hard time suddenly, as he's taken quite a bit of harass. Really suffering from that early level 3 onto Vladimir. Jarvan actually going for that full clear. I'm really surprised that Jarvan went for so much jungle clear instead of early ganks, but of course Vladimir does have the ward in the top lane, so that's able to help him out quite a bit. And stop Jarvan from really being able to make exactly the gank that he wants to have happen. The ward is in the river, so Jarvan could EQ into the river bush and try to get in that way. Alright, gonna go ahead and recall, probably pick up a Doran's ring. Will be double Dorans into Deathfire Grasp, probably will be our build. And Gragas could rush the Morellonomicon, could go for and Atheans. We'll see what he decides to do. There's the pool from Jill, has the ghost available. Mr. Friend trying to chase Bulldogs with the slow. There's the stretching strike. Q comes across the flash forward. There was no EQ there. There's the E. And Jill is going to be able to survive. I'm a bit surprised that he didn't wait to be able to get the EQ actually, and instead just went for the Q. Corki Valkyrieing out in the bot lane, very low. Again, it's so hard to deal with a Nami Caitlyn lane when you have no sustain on your own team. You really have to have a good engage. You have to have a very solid engage early on. And with their flashes being down, it was so risky for them to engage because they did have a ward in the tri-bush, but if Jarvan came down river, or even if Jarvan came through lane, then it was going to be really hard for them to be able to survive anything there, because their flashes were down from level 1. Level 1 proving so huge just in terms of lane control. Even though Jarvan has not been able to capitalize on it in terms of kills or anything, Caitlyn with the 10 CS lead over Corki, and Ari 36 CS on Gragas' 29. Zach's having a little bit of a harder time in the top lane. Took a little bit too much poke from Vladimir, but he did manage to go back, picked up the red crystal, so actually still not having that Negatron. He really would have liked to pick up a Negatron on his first buy and then rush that Spirit Visage. It'll still be the Spirit Visage rush, he just has to pick up the red crystal first, because he did get denied so much CS early on. And just trying to sustain on those Boblets as much as possible. Has a potion. Has a lot of potions actually, so he should be fine for a while here. Nocturne making his way towards the mid lane. Ari, remember, used her flash. She is level 6. Spirit rushes forward. There's the body slam out. Spirit rush to the side. First blood goes down to IMONU. There's the fear tether from Nocturne. He might have to pay for this now. Red buff with the slow. There's a spell shield coming across, and Ari will be able to get out there. So nice 1-for-0 pickup there, and that is the snowball that he wanted to start against Gragas. He did manage to get that start. Nice hitting level 6 before Gragas did. Remember, Gragas is still level 5. Nocturne also level 5, didn't quite have that paranoia up. So good timing from Ari and able to pick up the kill. And this is the gank that Jarvan had on mid lane. That just paid off, because it denied the experience from Gragas when he had to go back to base. And now he's able to... and now Ari was able to pick up the kill on Gragas because she had that experience advantage over him. So Nocturne going to steal away a little bit of buffs. There's the Fiendish Codex on Ari, so into the DFG. Couldn't quite go for the needlessly first, but getting a little bit of CDR, and that's going to help quite a bit on the ultimate. Explosive cast should be significantly shorter than Ari's ult. 99 second, and this should be what? Okay, so it's actually about the same with the cooldown reduction that Ari has. Ari's sitting at 12% CDR right now, so 2 points in the offense tree into that, and then probably 2 points into the minion damage, or 1 point in the minion damage, 1 point into the Ignite Mastery from her over in that offense tree. And Caitlyn still doing a great job of poking alongside Nami here in the bot lane. They're going to start getting some tower pressure down. It's going to be harder as Nocturne starts to pay more and more attention to this lane. He is level 6, has that paranoia, and Jarvan actually had to pick up that blue buff there to avoid Nocturne stealing away. So that was pretty huge that Ari is not going to be able to get that blue buff. We'll see if they can go for some sort of contest onto Gragas' blue buff. That would make it significantly better for Ari if Gragas didn't get the blue buff himself. And it actually looks like he's going to contest the red buff. Does not have smite available, and Nocturne does, so I don't imagine he's going to be able to pick it up. There's a smite. Just has to go for some harass on a Nocturne, but Fear Tether comes down. Vladimir is rotating over. Ari coming, and Zach also coming. There's the EQ out. Paranoia comes in, but he runs out of vision. Now he's in vision, and Vladimir actually picks up the kill there. A little bit of an over-aggression there from Jarvan. Zach was just not quite able to rotate. The lane was pushing on him, so Vladimir could get there first, and Nocturne coming in with the paranoia. I'm surprised he went for that, given that his smite was down. So that double buff is going to help Vladimir quite a bit. He has the extra CDR from it. Obviously, the mana regen doesn't help him at all, but Mr. Friend already having a tough time in this top lane. Down 23 CS at before 10 minutes is pretty significant. And now with the red buff on top of that on Vladimir, Vladimir is going to be able to sustain so much more with the blue buff cooldown reduction, and also just going to be able to get a lot more harass with his auto attacks. And you see the slows just coming into play here, and the extra cheer damage taking over time. And the thing is that Zach is behind in CS. You have to count him as even more behind, because he's had to spend so much money on potions. 2 potions on him right now. I think he's bought a number of potions every time he's gone back to base. And so each potion is about another 2 CS that he is behind Vladimir. So really needs to get to that Spirit Visage as soon as he can, but still not able to pick up that crucial Negatron. Had to content himself with the Red Crystal the first time, with the Kindle Gem the second time, and really, really not able to make it to that Negatron yet. So Jarvan picking up his own red buff, completely uncontested. Gragas will be able to pick up his blue buff. Yeah, I was going to say, Nocturne gonna get it? No. Gragas picks that one up. Nocturne with the blue buff, Gragas with the blue buff, and Vladimir also with the blue buff. So these blue buffs have been traded back and forth quite a bit between the two teams, the three of them active right now. And Caitlyn in the bot lane, Nami to rejoin. Nami with the fast sight stone and Thresh with the same build. So going for that little bit of extra vision, a little bit of additional HP there. Top lane, Jojo actually does go down. So very, very good gank from Bulldogs. Zach needed that so much. He's the one with the red buff, with the double buff really right now. And it's not going to help him as much as it helped Vladimir because his auto attacks are melee. Spirit Rush forward onto Gragas there. Going to go ahead, body slam out. And Ignite down for Ari. Explosive Cask is down for Gragas also. And with the wave pushing the top lane, Zach could run down towards the bot lane area and they could try to go for a dragon. There's the Death Sentence narrowly missing right there. E forward and actually manages to get the slow off. Tidal Wave comes across. Good flash from Corki to dodge that. But the bubble onto Thresh. Q comes across and the ace in the hole. Shield, but it's not going to be enough for that. And Corki maybe could have blocked it, but he had his Valkyrie down, he had his flash down, so he wasn't able to get in range. And the pink ward is counter pink there, so they are going to pull the dragon. They need to kill the minions so that the minion stops acting as a ward. Bubble is dodged there. Nocturne ults in. Jarvan picks up the dragon. Jarvan's going to go down though. Art Thief off to the side, has no mana, just going to try and run away. And Caitlyn is in the pit. Caitlyn has flash. Going to be able to flash over at the last second there, but Nocturne flashing over the wall also. And Corki Valkyrie over the wall. Art Thief going to get chased a little bit. There's the Fear Tether. Art Thief flashed over the wall. So it's a dragon for 2 kills. And I am now you, or I am Onyu, is also going to go down. Gragas not taking too much damage from the turret. So that dragon, not necessarily worth it. Especially considering that they're going to be able to get a good amount of damage onto the tower. They have a decently large creep wave here when the next wave comes in. And with 3 bot, they should be able to take out the creep wave before Caitlyn, or the tower, before Caitlyn and Nami can make it back to lane. It'll be close. If Nocturne goes back, then they can't quite get it. Mr. Fenn's still having trouble in the top lane, even with that double buff that he picked up. And you see him, he's really just trying to sustain. He finally did pick up that Negatron cloak, but with the Ancient Golem already on Vladimir, he's just spell vamping for so much, doesn't even care. And Zach really just wants to recall, but he's going to take a lot of pain onto the tower. So blue buff has respawned, 13 minutes in, 3 to 4 the kills, and within a 500 gold gap. So one of the closer games that we've seen today. Vladimir coming in to try and contest this blue buff, and Bulldogs just having to back off a little bit. And again, okay, so Zach did pick up the Spectre's Cowl, so that's going to help out quite a bit. But he just have to pick up more potions. There's the Ian, last shot. Cataclysm comes down, but there's the ult from Vladimir also. Good explosive cast from Gragas. It's almost everyone. They're chasing onto Nocturne. Will he be able to pick him up? Fear Tether not lasting quite long enough. Vladimir underneath IMO. You're going to be able to pick up that kill. And has the Ghost Burn right now, just trying to get as much damage as he possibly can. Barrel Roll does hit double kill for Vladimir. And Zach going to go ahead back out on that side. Bot lane, though, we have another engaged box has been used. Caitlyn getting exhausted. Art Thief taking a ton of damage from Corki. Going to be able to W at the last second, but the rocket does hit barrier pop. Death Sentence does not hit there. Neither does the Flake. Caitlyn picks up the red buff. Caitlyn going to be able to chase down the Thresh now. Should have E up, and it's up now. So can E forward, auto attack, and actually just going to go ahead use the ace in the hole. Double kill for Caitlyn. Very nice turn there from the bot lane of YetiBot. And Caitlyn now 3-1, picked up the pickaxe on her way to the Infinity Edge. And Corki with the Sheen going to be building into that Triforce. But Caitlyn, again, has a pretty substantial gold lead over Corki. And despite the fact that Nami wasn't quite able to sustain herself to live, she was able to sustain herself to make Corki burn a ton of resources trying to kill her. And then Caitlyn had enough resources to burn Corki, and was able to focus the AD carry first, whereas and then pick up Thresh afterwards, whereas Thresh and Corki focused on Nami, and then Caitlyn surviving was able to pick up a double kill. So So good focus there by the bot lane of YetiBot. Able to pick up the kills, and the BF sword now completed on Caitlyn. That's going to be hurting Corki quite a bit. He does have the Phage, he does have the Sheen, but Trinity is slightly more of a snowbally item. It's not quite as effective if you're behind. It's still a good item, but it's much more effective if you're ahead. I guess most items are much more effective if you're ahead. But top tower, about 130 HP right now. Gragas is waiting to dive this, but Ahri and Jarvan are somewhat nearby. Jarvan actually leaving, but Ahri will be here for a counter gank. Gragas coming in, and Body Slam comes in. There's a spell shield, less bounce procced. Explosive cast knocks Ahri away, and good paranoia from Nocturne to dodge away from Ahri. They get the passive on Zac, but not the kill. There's a flash forward. Charm hits. The Orb of Deception through 2. Jarvan coming in. Cataclysm picks up 1. There's the cancel of the Cataclysm. 7 seconds on the flag toss. Going to have to wait for that one. Meanwhile, bot lane Thresh goes down. Ahri now chasing. Nami chasing onto Corki. Ace in the hole comes across. Gavroni not quite going to go down. Will be able to survive there. But they did pick up the kill on the Thresh. Box was not available. Tidal Wave was. Tidal Wave 120 seconds base cooldown. Box is 150 second base cooldown. So there's a 30-second window for the Nami Caitlyn lane where Nami has her ult and Thresh doesn't have his, and they can just try to go for it. And they knew that, they went for it, and they were able to pick up the kill on the Thresh there, and almost pick up the kill onto Corki even, but not quite. And it was Caitlyn who picked up that kill. Turret does go down, so first turret of the game is actually over to YetiBot again in this bot lane. And Corki Thresh is having so many problems against Nami Caitlyn. Remember, Nami started out with a ton of potions. So not only did they have the sustain from the ebb and flow, but they also had a ton of sustain from potions. So Nami was able to get a whole bunch of mana back, get health back for herself from those potions. And it was just, if Thresh can't get that engage early on, and remember, it goes back to level 1 where every single flash was burned off of that Aqua Prison. They weren't able to go aggressive because they had the Summoner spell disadvantage and not quite able to land the Death Sentence that they needed, couldn't get the Flays off, and without a kill, that lane was absolutely in favor of Nami and Caitlyn. So Pink Ward goes in the bush but doesn't actually see the green ward. It's just out of vision there. Across the side, wards do not see each other. Jarvan, being that meat shield in the front, has his Ancient Golem completed in addition to another red crystal, and banking, holding on to a ton of health potions right now. And Zac still in the top lane, still having problems against Vladimir, but decently stable right now. And the fight for Dragon continues. It's really just a dance around the Dragon right now. Neither team has an Oracle on the support, so the Pink Ward control is going to remain there in favor of nothing to lose. And tower getting chunked a little bit, poked down by Caitlyn there. Aqua Prison misses. At this point, Caitlyn does not have the Infinity Edge completed, but Corki doesn't have the Trinity Force. So neither AD carry has reached that power spike, and the Bruisers are going to be pretty strong relative to AD carries. Nocturne, this Nocturne going for a much more traditional Nocturne build than we saw last game with that Ancient Golem and Ninja Tabby as opposed to the Blade of the Ruin King Rush. So Nocturne decently tanky. There's the EQ onto Corki. Lantern provided. Paranoia goes onto Caitlyn there. Tidal Wave comes across but doesn't hit Nocturne. Aqua Prison misses everything. Vladimir gets the turret in top lane. Ahri jumping through everything with the Spirit Rush. Good Flay brings everyone into the box. Ebb and Flow comes across. There's the Orb of Deception from Nami. 1 kill so far is all that's happened, but everyone's super low. Gragas with Body Slam forward. Nami goes down. Ramon on a killing spree, but he's going to fall to Ahri. A lot of damage out of Corki. Caitlyn very, very low. Valkyrie forward. Flashes over the other side. Gets the shutdown. And I Am Onyu getting chased down also. Gets the charm though and picks up the kill. That was so much damage all of a sudden. Clutch charm there from Ahri. Very, very nice job there by her. Able to pick that kill up. And top lane, Zac actually managing to turn it. Flashes the flash out from Vladimir. Transfusion comes across and the stretching strike and Mr. Friend with the kill. Finally, he's been able to turn around the top lane. It cost him his turret. His team needed to help him out. It took him a ton of potions, but he finished that Spirit Visage and he's able to turn around the top lane and pick up that kill onto Vladimir. So the fact that Zac can do that now is absolutely huge. 3-0 now 127 CS, still very far behind in CS. The bot lane turret did go over to Nocturne there. So overall, across the map, I'm going to say that was a win for nothing to prove. Or nothing to prove. They were able to pick up the bot lane turret after everyone had to disengage from the Dragon fight. Dragon didn't go down. Zach picked up the kill onto Vladimir, able to pick up the Dragon spell also. And actually with the Amplifying Tome also, he will probably want to pick up that Haunted Geist just to get a little bit of extra damage out of that Amplifying Tome. And also expect to see a Sunfire Cape for the extra damage in team fights. And Vladimir with the Abyssal, so that's going to help out his other AP champion on his team. And Pinkhorn spotted out there. Still no Oracle on either Nami or Thresh, I believe. Oh, Thresh does have an Oracle. Alright, so Thresh with an Oracle, Nami with no Oracle. But Nami with a number of Pinkhorns there, just trying to zone out. And that is going to be the Dragon going down. Vladimir was not grouped, and Zach was, so it wasn't really something that they could have contested easily. And Box also not up while Tidal Wave is, so that would have hurt a little bit also. Elastic Slingshot in, good play out. Tidal Wave going across, but I don't think it's going to be in range. Just gets the knock up and slow onto Nocturne there, but a little bit too far away. Tidal Wave, really not a good engage spell. You really want to use it as follow-up engage because it just travels so slowly. And posturing on the opposite sides of mid lane right now. There's the Paranoia actually suddenly onto Caitlyn. E over the wall. Fear Tether is going to land onto Ari, so she's zoned out of the fight. But Jarvan with the first kill. Jarvan going to fall. Zach popped into his Wobblers. Ari with no fear actually flashes straight in the box, goes down to Vladimir there. Aqua Prison comes across, doesn't get anything. And a double kill for Vladimir, picking up the kill on the Zach. There's a good Valkyrie to the side by Corki. Can he pick up the kill? Both AD carries are going to go down, and now Arthief is alone with Nikki Poo and Dr. Drill. Not a place that Nami wants to be. Not a place that any support wants to be, and the tower is going to fall. So, team fight there is 3 for 4 in favor of Nothing to Prove. And they got the tower. So, Dragon went down over to YetiBot. So, overall, even on objectives. But the kill's definitely there in favor of Nothing to Prove. And a lot of that was the fact that the tidal wave was down. So Nami didn't have any disengage, didn't have that follow-up engage. They decided to go for the fight despite the fact that tidal wave was down. And it was just a little bit too dangerous. So Vladimir stealing away the blue buff. Caitlyn has finished Infinity Edge. Corki actually with a Bloodthirster on top of his Trinity. So it looks like he's going to be going for the Trinity Bloodthirster build instead of the Trinity Last Whisper build. So you're going to be able to do a little bit more poking damage with his auto attacks and get a little bit more lifesteal. Doesn't have to contend with too much armor yet. Pretty much everyone's itemizing magic resist because they are against that dual AP composition. And Jarvan with the Negatron of his own might actually build for a Spirit Visage, despite the fact that he doesn't have really any. He doesn't have too much sustain. Nami taking the oracles there. 15 to 13 are the kills, 34k to 34.6k. This game is so close right now, 23 minutes in. Caitlyn pretty far ahead of Corki in terms of CS. Vladimir ahead of Zach in terms of CS. Kills very, very even. Gragas actually just completed his death cap, so having that death cap in addition to the Athenes is going to help out his damage quite a bit. He has the sustain from the Chalice passive on the Athenes. Mana Font, I believe, is the name of the passive. Nami has Tidal Wave right now. Box about to be up, and Corki is bot lane, so they should be able to get a good amount of damage on the tower. Aqua Prison hits, but nothing to follow that up. Vladimir roaming down from the bot lane. Corki roaming up from, or Vladimir running down from the top lane. Corki from the bot lane will be able to group in the mid lane here. And Vlad going towards that Zhonya's. Zhonya's going to help him out quite a bit. We'll be able to dodge any CC doubly there. Has the pool and also Zhonya's. Touching strike, nah, actually did hit there onto Nocturne. If a team fight breaks out right now, I'm honestly not sure who's going to win it. I think that Caitlyn probably has a little bit more. Actually, she doesn't have that Phantom Dancer completed. 600 gold on her. So she really wants to complete the Phantom Dancer before the next fight. And if she's able to finish the Phantom Dancer and they can get their engage off all at the same time, they can really get the Elastic Slingshot into the less bounce and get the Tidal Wave, Aqua Prison also on top of that. Then that's going to help out quite a bit. But if they can't land all of that crowd control, then the Gragas Barrel repositioning, the Thresh disengage, and the Hemoplague from Vladimir, that's just going to do so much for the side of Nothing to Prove. I'm hearing that there's a desync with the audio. If you could tell me how bad that is, I could restart the stream to fix that. So if it's off by more than like 5 seconds, I can go ahead and restart the stream, and that will deal with the audio syncing problem. But Blue Elixir picked up by Ari. They want a team fight soon. Kaylin is going to be able to pick up the Phantom Dancer as soon as she finishes farming this bot wave. She has a bot wave to farm, probably pick up double golems, and then go ahead, pick up her Phantom Dancer. And that'll be a nice power spike for her to be able to grab those two items together. Corki in the mid lane, clearing away some CS. Lock of the Iron Slayer finished by Nocturne, so that extra shield is going to help out that team. And again, Jarvan building pretty much only selfish tank items, which is a reasonable call. Alright, and we are actually into a pause timer right now, so I'm going to go ahead and restart the stream, try to get the audio synced up, because we did run into that pause timer. So don't go anywhere. I will be back in just a couple seconds here with the stream restarting. Hopefully it should fix all